Om श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि हृदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। So we were reading the 15th shloka. We were discussing that last time. Yam hi navyathayantyete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somrtatvaya kalpate. So we were discussing this shloka last time in the last session. Bhagwan says, hey Purusharshava, hey bull among the men, hey best among the men, best archer Arjun, yam purusham na vyathayante, e vyathayanti iti. कहते हैं कि that purusha, that man, that dhira who he called dhira, pandita in the last previous shlokas, he doesn't get perturbed. Vyathayanti means he doesn't get disturbed, doesn't get worried, doesn't get perturbed. About what? He says ete, what he explained in the last shloka. In the last shloka is Shita Ushna Sukha Dukha. When these come in his life, he doesn't get perturbed at all. He knows why he doesn't get perturbed. That logic also Bhagwan gave in the last line, in the last shloka, because he knows it very well. They are agama apainaha. They will keep coming and going. However better, best you may be, however settled you may be, You cannot stop a sorrow from coming into the life. Neither anybody who may be, sitting somewhere very disturbed, he also cannot stop the happiness coming in his life. I was discussing with Kanya about this in the morning. The only difference between people is that, the amount of sukha and dukkha may vary from people to people. That depends on karma also. That becomes your progression in life also. What your progression in life I'm talking about. For some you will see, there will be a moment of happiness, and there will be a moment of sorrow. There will be a moment of happiness, there will be a moment of sorrow. For some people it keep coming and going. For some people, the moment of sorrow may be a little longer, but then those people also need to understand then the moment of happiness will also be longer. Because, when you start on a progression of life, when you start growing in life in spirituality, there are some of your karmas which you cannot pass on to someone else. Okay, it has to be borne by you, and probably God knows that you are going to realize much faster. So those karmas start flowing into the life earlier. So should I stop spirituality? That's not what it's meant. If the share of sorrow comes, the share of happiness will also be coming around the corner. He wants you to settle, much peacefully in your life when you are about to realize and all those things. So I'll give you an example. When we see Mahatmas, us in the normal common parlance around us, I'll talk about one Mahatma today, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. He used to be a saint in the south of India. The place is called Arunachalam. He realized about the truth of everything at much early in life, maybe 9 or 10 years only. Then he realized that, I don't know, there's nothing called death. He left home forever and went and settled at Arunachalam, and he stayed there. It's a long story behind it. But there is no knowledge or no information about where he studied its scriptures from. But that comes to the point that he must have studied in last life. There are many books he has written, but they are absolutely talking complete scriptural language in his own words. So he must have studied in some previous life. So they say Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi used to have a very clear ideology. This world doesn't exist. When somebody used to come to him with a problem, he used to say the same thing. Where is the world? Somebody came and told him, Swamiji, there is, world war going on. When the Japan was attacked and all those times, he said, where is the world war? He said, it's happening in Japan and places. Where is Japan? So that man didn't understand. Maybe Swamiji may not know the geography. So he said, explained, Swamiji, Japan is this place and all those things. He said, no, I'm not asking that question. Where is Japan? So he said, Swamiji, I didn't understand your point. Because, of course I told you, subtler mind intellect can only understand that. So he didn't understand what he means. He said, where is the world war going on? He said, Japan. Where is Japan? He said, sir, Swamiji, Japan is on the map. No, I'm not asking you that. Actually, he came to the point, he said, no, you won't understand, I'll explain you what it is. Japan is in your mind. So where is the world war happening? In your mind. So, you have to come to that level. He explained in one word and walked away. That man got so stuck in the whole thing, he visited Arunachalam many times afterwards to understand what Swamiji said. Because he didn't understand what it means. So when you understand the total import of what Vedanta wants to say, you will realize about this world, and in the next shloka itself, Bhagwan is going to pick up that point. So he says, this man doesn't get at Vyathyant, he doesn't get perturbed. So I was talking about Ramana Maharshi, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. At certain part of his life, he got cancer towards his shoulder. So it has to be removed. So the devotees were, putting pressure on Swamiji. It's very easy. It's a very small operation. Just have it removed. Swamiji didn't agree. So after a lot of, pressure from devotees, Swamiji said, it's okay, I'll agree. So the doctor was cutting the portion of cancer from his part of the body. So doctor came with an anesthesia first. He said, what is this? He said, it's anesthesia. Why it is required? He said, Swamiji, it will make you, not bear the pain at all. He said, no, I don't need anesthesia. He said, Swamiji, what are you talking about? It's so difficult. I have to cut a part of your body from there. He said, I don't need anesthesia. So the doctor writes in the autobiography of Swamiji when it came out that when the whole operation was going on, Swamiji was looking at the doctor eye to eye and was smiling. Doctor said, I have done so many operations. I don't understand where this man was because I can't understand it was blood around the whole thing, and we were doing a difficult operation, but Swamiji was smiling. No anesthesia, nothing at all. Because he has understood, he has foregone the body and he has remained somewhere else. So that's what Bhagwan says. This person, Yam Purusham, this man doesn't get perturbed at all by those things which is Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha and all. What is his state of mind? That Bhagwan explains in the next line. He says, he is Sama, Dukkham and Sukham. He is equanimous in the receipt of happiness also. He is equanimous in the state of sorrow also. Both places he doesn't get taken away by happiness. He doesn't get disturbed by the sorrow also. When we listen to these things, we think that Bhagwan is talking about some unimaginable person. It's not achievable and all those things. See, this is where Bhagwan's last shloka becomes important. When he says, Matra sparshahatu konteya, shitoshna sukha dukkhada, agamapayino anityaha, tam stitikshasva. Now you need to remember, I'll explain you from this chart itself. So, you need to remember this. Body, this is actually body, this is mind and this is intellect. How Gurudev has made this is, body is what? Perceiver of object. Mind is what? Feeler of emotions. Okay? And intellect is what? Thinker of thoughts. So these are the three functions they have explained. And what is on top of it? There is something called a vasana. Now, did I explain vasana before to you all? Vasana is the bundle of impressions we carry from life to life. Okay, now let me come to this shloka also. Why Bhagwan is saying don't get carried away by happiness? Because if your mind engages into happiness as too much, it will get the taste of something. For example, I don't know where do I get an example from that. I'm going to give you some food item only. It's easy for me to explain. If you like something in food very much, okay, every time you taste it and enjoy the taste, you are increasing something called the impression in your mind. And that will start getting stored in something called vasana here. And when a kid is born in house, sometimes when a kid grows up, he or she automatically bends to certain tastes in life. You will feel, this is never eaten at our home. Why he likes like this? Like for example, some kid in a Punjabi family likes South Indian. I'm giving you an example like that. It's very easy for me to explain. Some in Punjabi family say, we don't make South Indian at our home. But how this kid like it so much? He's got so much bent of mind and taste. It's coming from somewhere called as past vasana. Every time you engage into something and you derive pleasure or happiness, what you are creating, you are inadvertently creating something called vasana. And you need to remember one thing. For this vasana alone, many people need to take many births. There are certain vasanas, I am not bringing that example here. There are certain vasanas which can be fulfilled only in an animal body. There are vasanas like that. I can create a whole plethora of list of all those things here. But every action is defined to some vasana is defined to some birth somewhere. That is the seriousness of this vasana. So Bhagwan here says, yamhi na vyathayanti. He doesn't get perturbed at all. He doesn't get carried away also. He is what? Sama, dukkha, sukham. He is equanimous in both. Because he knows it very well that they are all agama apayana. They will come and go. I can't hold them and I can't stop them. So what he does, he titikshasva. Titikshasva means he endures them easily and equanimous. He's come and gone. I'm giving you an example. For so many years, Pandavas went through exile. They didn't crib and cry every day. They just went through it. Rama, there are many things you can talk about it, but there are many things, wrong things you say about, but you have to see Lord Rama in that way. Rama had 14 years of exile. He didn't crib and cry over it. He didn't go and fight with his father. What did you do? He didn't go and fight with Kaikeyi. When Bharatji comes and asks Rama to come back to, the thing that, no, I don't want to be the king, you are only the king. He says, where is Mother Kaikeyi? He said, I didn't bring her. I'm sorry. Because Bharat becomes very angry with Kaikeyi. He said, what has she done? You should not be angry with her. It's a part of thing. It's part of life. Go and, pay my obeisance to her. And when after 14 years, Bhagwan Ram comes back, he doesn't meet Kaushalya ji first. He goes and meets Kaikeyi first. What kind of a thought process they have, that these are things which will come and go. He was Bhagwan, and in that avatar he is showing us how to act in life. After so much of pressure from Bharat, Bhagwan Ram didn't go back. He says, no, father has decided, I will go through this whole thing, and when the time is over, I'll come back. Because Rama had something to do in those days, he says, it is the tapas of the rishis that I've got the exile. It's my good karma that I could come to Vanvas. I would have got, see the attitude of Lord Rama. Rama says, if had I been in Ayodhya, I would have been a king of only a small territory. See what father did to me. Father made me the king of this whole Aranya. Forest is so big. See, that's the attitude he carries. He is showing us which attitude to live at. Things will come and go. You have to endure them. There is no choice. Whether you crib and cry and endure them, or you take it with a tapas buddhi. If you take it with a tapas buddhi, you are practicing something for this. Body needs practice. Mind needs practice. It doesn't come by that. Intellect can manage things with knowledge. But what happens with intellect? Intellect is so much caught up with mind and body that it stops thinking. I told you in the last class, how many people really, when the situation comes, they think, they are so engrossed in why me, that they lose this faculty of intellect to think, what is in it for me? Everything which comes in life has some teaching for us, but we forget it. Bhagwan says, Sama Dukkha Sukham, he calls him Dhiram. That person I will call courageous man. He, according to me, is Dhira, who can remain equanimous in all these situations. Bhagwan says, Saha, that Dhiram, that Purusham, Amrtatvaya Kalpate. He is the only one fit for realization. And I explained you Amrtatva in the last class, couple of options that, realization has got, a very wide term actually. The literal form of realization is, this body, mind and intellect at the time of death, along with vasanas, gets burned here. And what happens? The jiva becomes one with this and becomes the self in all. What currently happens today, this body at the time of death is burned here. This mind and intellect at the time of when the body dies, it goes and makes a bundle with vasana along with all the senses, goes back into this Om, and according to the vasana, searches for another body and comes back in another body and unwinds itself. So remember, body may change, but mind and intellect doesn't change. You have one opportunity to change your mind and intellect in this human body only. Because in animal body, you cannot change your mind and intellect. Why? Animal body is a bhoga deha. Bhoga deha means it's only for exhausting your vasanas. They cannot make new impression. They do not have the choice of action. They are pre-programmed is the word I use here. Pre-programmed means a tiger is programmed to kill a deer and eat it for for its own food. A deer is pre-programmed to live it on the grass and other things on the plant and vanaspati jagat, and he is also pre-programmed to become food for the other carnivores. That's how the program is. They cannot change the program. They don't have the choice here. But human has only got the choice to mold these two. What actually make this strong? Okay, now let me just use this word here. Currently what happens actually, our body rules our mind, and both body and mind together rules our intellect. Actually what should happen? The intellect should rule and control the mind, which should formally manage the body. But the actually whole flow is reversed right now. Since body and mind is managing the intellect, this thinker and thought is gone. What has happened now? Intellect is also come into this category. Perceiver and feeler. Every time, I feel. Do you think of your feeling? No, that faculty is not available. It's not developed completely. And no school and college teaches us to actually develop this thing here. They actually burden our intellect with new data and new things which are not required for me to realize in life. And technically what happens? My intellect loses space to gather the information about myself. And I also start working according to pre-program. This is why I use the word Gurudev was told by Swami Shivananji, just because you know how to read and write and you have a degree barely makes you literate, not educated. Education is what? Actual education is when you can actually independent of this, can analyze every situation and make a decision whether it is right or wrong. Remember, intellect is the one which is supposed to make decision. Mind is sankalpa vikalpatmaka. Matlab, it's always full of options. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? When you have such kind of a state, please understand you are living at the level of mind. Intellect is based on data. Intellect can make a decision whether it is right for me or wrong for me. Bhagwan is actually making you intellect here. In the next shloka, I'll read the next shloka. At the end, if you can hold that question. Bhagwan says in the next shloka, Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drishtontah, tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. Na sato vidyate bhavah, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drishtontah, tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. Now I want to say one thing to you here. As we move along shloka, Bhagwan is moving from subject from more subtle to more subtle. This shloka, when I read this shloka, it's a little difficult to understand and it's difficult to explain also, by the way, this shloka. That's why many don't cover this shloka that well. Why? Because it's a little subtle to understand also. But I want to, before I get into the shloka, I want to say one thing. This is one shloka of Vedanta where actually Sanatan Dharam Vedanta is different from other philosophies. Okay. Now I had spoken about many philosophies in the initial, I named a couple of them, Nastik Darshan and all. But where do the philosophies differ from each other is on the subject of Atma, subject of self. That's where many have got a convoluted understanding of the self. I will not name philosophy, but without naming philosophy, because this is my purpose is not to put down something like that. But I'm saying some philosophies you see at the definition of Atma, they get confused. Now one example I'll give you from a theory. There is Darwin theory. Everybody has heard. Do you remember what is a theory?
That you come from monkeys.
Evolution of the fittest.
Good.
Because evolution.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah. So, I'm bringing you the point of discussion where Darwin's theory falls flat without explanation. I'm taking that portion right now. I named it only because that theory is very well understood easily from others. I'm not touching other philosophies right now. Darwin's theory of evolution talks about at the beginning there was nothing there. इसको हम कहते हैं अपने वेदांत में असत कार्यवाद. असत कार्यवाद मतलब in the beginning nothing was there. This is how Darwin's theory starts. Slowly, gradually, when the periods change, things start evolving. That means from asat we all came. Bhagwan to flatly blows it out of the proportion. He says in the shloka here, Bhagwan says, Arjun, understand this very well. Na asataha vidyate bhavaha. The asat or the unreal can never become existent. And he says, na abhavaha vidyate sataha. And the real can never become non-existent. So Darwin's theory is gone. Darwin says, from unreal or from asat, I'm using the word unreal here for explanation. From asat came sat, we all came. We are all conscious. That means from the unconscious came conscious. Now I'm using some things here. It's called cause and effect relationship. And I'm, giving you some points wherever you can. Remember those points because I'm going to use it aage bhi jakar. In the whole gamut of cause and effect, there are a couple of things I'm going to talk about now in terms of how the cause and effect works. Actually, when you say cause and effect, without cause, effect can never be. This much is clear? Okay? An effect can be there only when the cause is there. Now, in the second point, they say, effect is nothing but cause in a different form. Like I'll give you an example for you to understand easily. Wave and ocean. Understood? Wave and ocean. Wave is an effect. Ocean is the cause. If I remove ocean, can you see an existence of wave? Wave cannot exist. Because effect is nothing but cause in a different form. When you see the wave, wave is actually a form of ocean in a different form. Wave is not a new subject altogether. It's the water only from the ocean which forms a different form. Just because it has got a different form, we have named it wave. But actually speaking, wave is nothing but the ocean alone. Right? If you take out, if you talk about cause, effect is nothing but cause in a different form. Now from the effect, if you take out the cause, effect ceases to exist. These are the 3 points we need to remember for this shloka to understand. Bhagwan says, Arjun, now what is he talking about? Why did he come to Sat and Asat here? Now, Darwin's theory where it falls flat is that which is non-existent cannot be ever a cause for the existent. Remember this very well. It is not possible. That's where his theory falls flat. In initial days when the science was growing, that theory may have come into place to explain us. This is the place where I'll talk to you about, there are so many forces working to actually, take out or, completely destroy Sanatan Dharma, but they don't understand. If Sanatan is destroyed, your creation understanding is destroyed forever. Because there is no philosophy. I'm taking this opportunity to talk from this Vyaspeed. There is no philosophy which can expound upon the subject of self apart from Sanatan. Impossible. And I'm telling you from whatever knowledge I have of many other philosophies. There are many philosophies in which there are, different ways to explain Atma. I'll give you one more philosophy without naming it. They have called Kshanik Vigyanvad, they have got Asat Karyavad, they have got, Buddhivad. They have got so many vads to explain Atma, but they could not understand and explain Atma because without Sanatan Dharma, you cannot understand self. Bhagwan here clearly says, Arjun, you have to decipher this into 2 portions. Sat can never become non-existent and unreal or asat can never become existent. This much you understand. And I'll explain you in the forward shloka because you will see Bhagwan Shankaracharya has given a long bhashya for this because it's a very subtle subject to understand. But I'll explain you the shloka first, then I'll go into the detail. He says, Ubhayo api dishtontaha. Those people who see these 2 very clearly, real and unreal, in between the transaction of life, I will say they are called Tattvadarshibhihi. Tvanayoho Tattvadarshibhihi. They are the people who have seen the actual truth of or essence of this world or reality in true sense. They have understood the truth in its true essence. He calls them Tattvadarshibhihi. That is the final essence of this whole Vedant. Now you see, it is only 16th shloka. Bhagwan started explaining from only 11. In 6th shloka only, 6th shloka itself, Bhagwan expounded to Arjun the ultimate reality of the self. Now, it brings 2 points to our mind. I told you this is a little difficult to understand, but don't worry about it. It's fine. We will keep explaining this going forward also. I don't expect everything to be grasped now. But the thing you need to pick up from this is that there are 2 portions we have to divide this whole world into, Sad and Asad. Now, I'll pose a question and in form for you to explain this better.
Sorry, it's the same as manifest and unmanifest.
No. That is Vyakta and Avyakta. That is Vyakta and Avyakta, which I explained in some other session. It's manifest and unmanifest is different thing. In that example which you are asking, manifest and unmanifest, that which is Sat, which is real, that only can manifest and unmanifest. Na? Asat cannot manifest. Which cannot manifest, it cannot unmanifest also. Right? The manifest, unmanifest go with Sat. Very simple. That which is non-existent, unreal, how can it manifest? The question which I am trying to pose to you is that, if I have to decipher this world into two categories, Sat and Asat. Now, one way to explain is, that which remains unchanged in 3 periods of time is Sat. I am explaining it again. That which remains unchanged in 3 periods of time is Sat. Now the question should come, why Bhagavan is explaining this here? Go back to this shloka number 13. Go back to the shloka 13. He explained it to Arjun at physical parlance. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. There is one dehi, there is one atma, which goes through 3 stages. Which is what? Childhood, youthhood and old age. When he used that word, he said the word dehi. Now, when the childhood, from a person transforms from childhood to youthhood, or moves from that position, remember, childhood dies and youthhood is born. When he travels from youthhood to old age, youthhood dies and old age is born. And he explained the next part of the shloka, in the same way, the dehi, the self, I remains unchanged. Okay, I am explaining you from this point only. I remains unchanged in this whole transition. Since I remain unchanged, that I will become Sat. And he explained in the next line, like Arjun, a dehi, yourself, remains unchanged, moves through these 3 phases of childhood, youthhood and old age. In the same way, that same you, once your body dies, you will move into a different body. The I will remain there. So, in this whole example parlance, the I becomes Sat. So there is never, now explain that, 12th shloka also, when he says the shloka, Natu eva aham na jatu, there was never a period of time when I was not there. There is never a period of time which is going to be there where I will not be there. That means I remain Sat. We all are in the category of Sat. But then the question comes, where will I put my body into? Body becomes Asat. But what are you talking? You said there is never a point in time when the unreal can ever be there. But body is here. How can you put it in Asat? See, I'm purposely complicating the whole thing. Why? Because through this complexity, you will understand the actual meaning of what he wants to say here. See, where will you put this body then? Bhagwan Shankaracharya gives a very beautiful explanation. He creates a third category outside of what Bhagwan said, and he calls it Mithya. This is a very popular word. You will keep hearing it in the Vedanta philosophy. There is a third category between Sad and Asat, which is called Mithya. Now, when we say Mithya, Mithya means false. That means this body is false. It is false, but for you to understand it better, I'll explain you in a different way. Mithya can be translated to another word called Pratibhasik Satya. Pratibhasik Satya means it is true till the time it is projected. Pratibhasik means that which is projected. जो film पर्दे पे पड़ती है वो प्रातिभासिक, it's a projection. Film is a projection on the actual screen. Illusion. Illusion is the same word. That's a very nice word. Thank you. So you can put these 3 words together for mithya: false, illusion, or temporal reality. Temporal reality means a temporary reality till the time it is illusion, on whichever we call it. It's a very good. I was about to bring that example. It's exactly, mirage is an example which we explain in Vedanta. What is mirage? When you go to a desert in the heat, you will feel that there is water somewhere. But when you go there, you realize, no, it was just an illusion. There was no water there. It keeps projecting. But when you have the knowledge that it is mirage, you don't run after it. That's what Bhagavan is telling you here. When you get the knowledge that this all world is temporary, it will remain, come, go, then you don't get engrossed in it. How difficult it will be to become sama dukkha sukham. When you understand this whole world is unreal, he is explaining the unreality of this world here.
That is what Ramana Maharishi meant.
Exactly. Where is the world war happening? It's in your mind. Where is Japan? It's in your mind. Then take back a little bit. Where is family? Where is home? It's all in your mind. Where does the family and relation go when you go to deep sleep? Are you not enjoying the happiness of sleep in deep sleep when you go to deep sleep? Whenever you go, are you not enjoying that at peaceful? That means these things which are there outside with me are actually not required for my happiness. I have projected it that they all give me happiness. Actually, happiness is something which is internal to you. It comes from inside. Even when you like someone, I'm just giving you an example. When you like someone, for an example, you like someone very much. When you see that person coming to you or you meet them, don't you get happy if you like someone? Okay? In the same way, when you don't like someone, his or her presence itself start giving you sorrow. But remember, that person, the same person that gives you happiness, can be giving sorrow to someone else. That means happiness is not in that person. Happiness is a feeling inside you. You have made up your mind that this person is going to give me happiness. When that person comes close to you, you start feeling happy. When that person goes away from you, start feeling sorrow. It's an internal feeling. That's what Vedanta is trying to explain you here. Very true. That is why for you to grow about all these things is the whole paraphernalia of why this world is given to you. It's for you to grow. That's why I'm saying that is the purpose I was talking about here. You have to continually practice to make sure that your body doesn't creep through Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha. Mind doesn't get over engaged or perturbed in the whole thing. And intellect is spared the energy to think and create thoughts of the real and decipher between the real and unreal. When the situation comes in life, Bhagavan is telling you that when Shita Ushna comes, it's unreal. It will come and go. I cannot control it. Go through it. But go through it without cribbing and crying. Because cribbing and crying also you'll go through it. By intellectually thinking also you'll go through it. But one has got tap buddhi. Tap buddhi, what happens? What do you mean by tap buddhi? It will not only spare you the energy to use on thinking and thought process, but will also exercise control on this thing, this mind. To what? Don't crib and cry in every situation. Because cribber and crier to ye hai.
Sir, it means we need to just work on ourselves and
Definitely.
Rest.
Vedanta is a call to the mankind to work on themselves.
We mean to say that we should just work on ourselves.
Definitely.
Leave everybody aside.
When you say leave, that doesn't mean leave the home and go. Leave them on their own.
Leave them on their own.
Yeah, because remember, you can only and only improve yourself.
Because all these years, it's been, I don't know, have I interrupted the
Go ahead.
Because I'll forget otherwise. Because all these years, it's all the hard work which has gone in, I won't say correcting or anything, but kind of looking after and kind of, balancing the family, yourself. And so it means it's really not required. It's like you build your own self and your own intellect in the most positive.
Vedanta says very clearly,
Are you alone on your journey?
everybody is alone in their journey.
But when we are in the world,
But remember one thing, I'll use one word which Puja Gurudev says, that if you continually improve yourself, I'm giving you an example for here. If you continually improve yourself and you become an improved self of what you were yesterday, trust me, others who look up to you and rely on you will automatically start benefiting from you. But the problem what happens is, we don't improve ourselves, we want to improve everybody else. That's the problem. It's a truth I'm telling you. We want to change object. No, we want to change object, we want to change family, we want to change friends, we want to change things, we want to change car, we want to change house. All those things, yeah, that's the point. That is what Bhagavan is giving you here. That's exactly the point. We think what? They are all the cause of happiness. They are not. Your cause of happiness and sorrow is your own mind and intellect. Is your own self.
If you crib less, you will enjoy
Yeah.
more.
I'm giving you an example. Somebody feels, heat very much. I'm giving you an example. But give him some work which will give him a good goal, he will forget heat and cold. Where the heat and cold went? It didn't go somewhere. Made effort to engage your intellect correctly. That's it. The whole problem in this world is our intellect and mind is engaged at wrong places. When people are working continually to give pleasure to this thing, Are bhaiya, this thing is going to be dropped here. You are putting all those energies on this, and there is something which is going to traverse with you through other lives. No, but many people are not even working on it. And imagine, you may have given so much pleasure to this body, so what? This is so hellish, it's going to make your life hell, life after life. You're not going to not be working on this at all. You see the state of us. And what is taught to us in school and college, I'll put mark on that also. What is taught to us? Continually work so that you have a better environment. Environment is for who? Body. You have big job, big thing, big objects. You have all the pleasure. Pleasure is for who? Through the body, this mind is enjoying the pleasure. And her mind has got nothing to do with it.
That's how we have raised our children also. The bigger the car.
Sorry, I cannot question that right now. I cannot do that. It's outside of my ability. That's why do you think I'm saying? It is true.
Like, even if we don't, but others put pressure on us, and then you have to do the same thing.
Sir, Gurudev, what I'm trying to say is this thing, on a very humble this thing, I never had this knowledge before. So, even if I have the knowledge, still I get into the pressure. So you mean to say, my question is this: if I don't want to have this outwardly pressure from anybody regarding my things or my personal growth or my house or anything, because these are the things which make the world move. So it means I need to raise my intellect and I have to work on myself so that, I have the awareness of the mirage, that this is the mirage. That's what you meant by this thing.
Yeah, I meant that, but I meant in a subtler way differently. Don't go and become, indifferent to, people around you. Do your best. Do your best. Knowing it is unreal.
Like I have
That's what the point is.
Now I can give it to my daughter that,
The time will come when they will ask for it. You cannot give anything to anyone. You cannot. See, I'll give you an example very clearly. It's a very popular example. You can only take a horse to the river. You cannot force it to drink the water. It's very simple like that for everyone. There is one word which I'll use here, which is very powerful. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayan ji said.
लेकिन मैं कई बारी आसपास देखती हूँ तो मैं खुद कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ कि मैं ठीक चल रही हूँ या नहीं चल रही हूँ.
Have trust in the words of scriptures and Guru. It will be working out. Take advice if you feel trouble doing that. That's very true. Because of this, Gurudev said one word. Remember one thing, nobody can change the world. But he says you change yourself and the world around you has to change. That's a very simple word I'll give you. Deep and profound.
Show by example, not
Don't nag someone that, अब मैंने पढ़ लिया तो आओ तुम्हें भी गीता पढ़ाता हूँ. अब आ जाओ बैठ जाओ, बच्चे बैठ जाएंगे आपके साथ. आप भी आओ, चलो अभी आप भी गीता पढ़ो. मैंने पढ़ लिया and I'm enjoying it. But you have to understand. You have to understand. बच्चे दिखाई हुई नहीं पढ़ते. बच्चे पढ़ाई हुई नहीं पढ़ाते, दिखाई हुई पढ़ते हैं. So, there are many people who come to us also. I was the, director of youth for North India. मेरे पास बहुत पेरेंट्स आए हैं कि बच्चों को पढ़ा दो. मैंने कहा भैया आप इतना समझो, एवरीबडी हैज़ देयर नॉर्मल एवोल्यूशन साइकिल. उनको उनका टाइम दो. It's not that, that doesn't mean that Gita should not be studied in the child. Gita should be studied in the childhood. But उनका childhood वो निकल गया. कोई बात नहीं, जाने दो. अब उनको force मत करो. Let them come on their own. At least you work on yourself, no? First. Let them look up to you and, mom, you used to be different. You have changed now. What changed you? They will come inquiring about you. What is the problem? We have only the opportunity to change ourselves. Remember one thing, we can only manage ourselves. Others, we can only pass and spend time with them and help them. We cannot manage others. I am an MBA myself. MBA we are taught from that point that manage everyone. I have seen that. But with employees also I have seen you cannot manage like that. Just because you are a manager, everybody not following you, start following you. But you show by example, they will surely look up to you. You can make a man look up to you, but you cannot forcefully manage someone. You cannot do that. With kids also, with family also, the same thing. Everybody has their own cycle. The thing I was talking to you that, I have been teaching in Patiala for such a long time. Somebody asked me in Patiala, your family, must be missing out on this whole thing which you are studying. मैंने कहा भाई उनकी अपनी evolution cycle है, जब उनको पढ़ना होगा, they will come. If they look up to me as a family, they cannot study anything. They have to replace that feeling of a family and place me at the pedestal of a guru to actually understand. But will they be able to do that? Because everybody has their own attachment. It's very difficult. Many sannyasis said, our mother, when we go to them, they still consider as our kid. They start, telling us, don't do this, don't do that and all. That's a natural cycle. But you can't help it. What you are teaching outside is different from the whole thing. The world is very different. That means what? Now since I know Vedanta, I start, working with my mother and father first, that, let me change them first. That's the biggest foolishness I'll end up doing. I don't change anybody. I can only change myself. Let people look up to me and change themselves. I came here, I'm teaching you all what Bhagwan is telling you. See, in this 6th shloka itself, Bhagwan is telling Arjun real and unreal. वो तो भगवान शंकराचार्य जी की blessing है. He termed something called mithya in between. Now let me just ask you a question. Where will you term body? Body is sat. Body can't be sat because it doesn't remain there in every period of time. Period of time means past, present, future. There are a couple of period of times. The main period of time we talk about is past, present and future. There was a time when this body was not there, and there will be a time when this body will not be there. So that goes, it cannot be sat. So it has fallen from the bracket of sat. So where will the body call? It's very difficult for me to call it asat also because I am seeing this body. How can you say? You said that asat can never be existent, but this body is existent. That is why Bhagwan Shankaracharya gave a middle term called mithya. It is pratibhasik satya. It will remain there till the time you wake up to that state of consciousness. Gurudev used to make a clarion call to people. Wake up to that state of consciousness and you will realize that this life was a bigger dream. This life is a dream. I will use this word here, but you get whatever way. So this teaching is also going on. So आप क्या कह रहे हो? आप भी dream में हो? बिल्कुल मैं आपकी dream में हूँ. This is a bigger dream. So what happens? I was sleeping sometime and I got into some dream that I had kids and I had a wife and my kid was running after me and I was troubled by the whole thing. Till when I was troubled? Till the time I woke up. When I woke up, what happened? Did I brood over those people? अरे यार वो तो मेरी बीवी थी वहाँ पर, वो तो एक बच्चे भी घूम रहे थे, वो कहाँ चले गए? I don't cry over them because I understand that was unreal. When will you understand that was unreal? When you wake up. In the same way, till the time you are in this is real. That is why Bhagwan Shankaracharya termed this pratibhasik satya. It will remain. It will keep projecting till the time you are here. When you wake up from this state, you will realize all this is unreal. So it's a dream. I'll use one word. Puja Guruji Swami Subodhananji was telling in one Ramayana session sometime. It's such a deep and profound word. He says, there is a form of Lord Shiva they all talk about that there is one Lord Shiva, and then there are Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha and all in his Rudragan and all those things. That's because you have not understood the form of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is Adi Guru. Okay? Adi Guru means the one who has already realized. Okay? Adi Guru in the form of the actual Guru. That's why when we talk about Guru Parampara, we always talk about Sada Shiva Samarambham. It always starts with Lord Shiva. First Guru is he. He is Adi Guru, that's why. So they say, when you talk about, it's very easy for you to laugh and go away that, Lord Shiva, what, he has Bhasma, he has like Mriga Charma, and then he has, Bhuta Preta Prashaja walking around. When you listen to, Abhi Shivratri gayi hai na? So in his Shadi, in the marriage of Lord Shiva, it was the day when Lord Shiva got married to Mother Parvati. So they say that, lot of Devata, Devi, I am pick up this example here only for you to explain this Asat and Sat. They say that, when Mother Sati jumped into the, fire of the Yajna, and when she jumped into the fire of the Yajna, and then that time she left this body, she was born as Parvat Putri Parvati, and she did lot of tapas to gain Lord Shiva back. Okay? Lord Shiva back I'm using. Sati and Parvati are not two people, it's the same. But it's a story for us to understand. So Lord Shiva, when Sati ji, jumped into the fire and he was not there, Lord Shiva used to spend his time in meditation in Kailasa. He is not bothered by anything. So there were people who went to, pacify him, Bhagwan, what are you doing? Please marry. So he said, why should I marry? Because there was a Narkasur, there was an Asur who had got this blessing that, Lord Shiva also cannot kill him. It will be only killed by the son who is born to Lord Shiva. So for a son to be born, Lord Shiva has to marry. So, the whole thing happened. They went and pacified. Kamadeva went and did kind of a dance, and then Lord Shiva opened his third eye and Kamadeva became Bhasma. He said, what are you doing? Bhagwan Shiva cannot be, indulged into Kama to, marry someone. He is already above all these things. What are you talking about? Then Lord Ram went to Lord Shiva and said, Dekho, you should marry because it's required for the world. So Bhagwan agreed. After that, Kamadeva came and did all these things and got bhasmified and all those things. Anyway, that's not the point. But then Lord Shiva, then his whole, Devatas, all of them came and they thanked Lord Shiva that, you agreed to marry, and they all went away. Lord Shiva said, I have nobody with me who is going to dress the dulha and all those things. So there is a whole episode behind it. Ramcharitmanas explains it so beautiful. So Devata said, अब यहाँ तो भूत प्रेत और पिशाच खड़े हैं, इन लोगों को तो इनके साथ कैसे बारात में जाएंगे हम लोग? तो हम लोगों का तो they doesn't, we are not the befitting baratis here. So तो भगवान विष्णु said, you all अपना अपना समाज अलग कर लो, you all come to that place separately. They all went separately then. Devatas reached first. When they saw Lord Vishnu and Devatas, Parvati's mother's, parental side, they got very happy. So, अगर बारात ऐसी है तो दूल्हा तो जबरदस्त होगा. They all became very happy with the whole thing. They said, ये तो जबरदस्त बारात है. So then, they all ran away without, helping Bhagwan Shiva. Bhagwan Shiva, अब क्या करूँ? Who is going to dress the दूल्हा? तो they said, अब जैसा है, सारे अनुचरों को बोला जो भूत प्रेत पिशाच है कि आप ही मुझे ड्रेस कर दो. They went to, शमशान. They got the राख of the शमशान. They said, इससे बढ़िया पाउडर तो अवेलेबल ही नहीं है दुनिया में. They put that on Lord Shiva. They dressed him the way it is. They said, अब भगवान के गले में हार डाला तो सारे वो के हार तो खराब हो जाएगा. कहते नहीं ऐसे हार नहीं डालेंगे. We will put the snake, live snake will never die. So Bhagwan has this snake on his neck and all those things, and he got dressed up. And they all started. Then Bhagwan sat on a bull, because उनका तो वो है ना नंदी. He sat on a bull, and that too reverse. Bull's face is on the front side. Bhagwan is looking his anucharas. Now remember, when we see this story, we see that, I don't understand what Bhagwan Shiva is. But you don't understand one thing with this whole story. Bhagwan Shiva is the Lord of Sarvatyakta. Those people, imagine, Bhoot, Pret, Pishach, who will take them in their barat? So they went and complained, nobody takes us in our barat because everybody gets scared. You take us. Bhagwan agreed, come with me, doesn't matter. When Bhagwan's barat reached there, so the kids from the city ran out to see. They came back scared and all those things. I don't understand what is coming behind. Some had face in the stomach, and some had got hands, some had got no hands. I don't know what kind of a barat is this. So Mother Parvati's पेरेंट्स आस्क की बारात कैसी है, कहते बहुत अच्छी है, अगर जिंदा रहोगे तो देख लेना. So they came with Aarti and all, Mother Parvati. Then she looked at Narad ji had actually told Mother Parvati to do the tapas for Bhagwan Shiva. तो मदर पार्वती एक मतलब पार्वती की जो मदर है मैनाक जी है, उनकी एक लाइन है वहाँ पर, वो कहते हैं नारद का मैं क्या बिगाड़ा, मैंने नारद जी का क्या बिगाड़ा था जैसे बारात भिजवा दी मेरे घर पे. एनीवे these are all stories for us to understand. But the thing is, she did the आरती, and when she was doing the आरती, the snake in the neck said, you know, you are trying to burn Shiva. It did his, and the आरती only fell down. So अशुभ हो गया. अब वो कहते अशुभ हो गया तो बहुत गड़बड़ हो गया. भगवान ने कहा कोई अशुभ नहीं है, हो गया जो होना था, बंदर करो. सारे अशुभ को शुभ करने वाले लॉर्ड शिवा हैं. That's his kind of nature he is. So when you talk about this, you know, there is a form which forms for Lord Shiva that I understand what kind of a deity he is. But you don't understand. He is a Brahmagyani. For a Brahmagyani, उन्होंने अपना जीवत्व बाधित कर दिया है. He has already negated his own जीवत्व. When he has negated his own जीवत्व, what are you all? You are all preta only for him. For a Brahmagyani, all of this world is preta only. They are all dead, nothing at all. There is only self which remains. That is what Lord Shiva's form is. He is the Adi Guru. When we see this, there is a way to make fun. There are many people who make fun of all these things. There are songs also. Chali Shivji ki Barat and all. I don't understand kya samajh ke gaya hua logon ne. But they don't understand the actual sense. For a Brahmagyani who has negated his own jivatva, who has negated his own human nature, for him, what are other people? They are all they are all lifeless for him. They are, not there. Body-wise, they are not there. They are all what? Mitti ka dhela. The form of soil running around him. They are all preta only for him. That's what Lord Shiva's form is. Bhagwan is saying the same thing. Bhagwan is saying, Ubhayo api, between these two, those people who can decipher while living in this world, I will call them Tattvadarshi. They are the people who have seen the real essence of truth. They are the people who have seen the reality of this world. They are the people who I will call, they understand this world in its actual sense. I'll pick up the remaining in the next session.
You have to become Tattvadarshi.
Tattvadarshi. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat करोमि अद्य सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम. ओम तत्सत्.